So this will be always better than any self-improvement book, self-help book, or shit like this. And I'm also talking from my own experience because I read few self-improvement books. I have here my manga collection, and here I have some books. I don't know why they are so destroyed here, but for example, uh, it's called Deep Work. Of course, it's in Polish because I'm from Poland and I read it in Polish. But it's called The Deep Work from Colin Newport, right? And I think this was one of the biggest wastes of time because, like, this book has 200 pages, and it's all about just like focus, how to be focused at work, and like 90% of shit here is useless, and like I don't even remember. I think the only thing I remember from this is to like delete social media and how to actually like work, or like how much uh, deep work daily you can do, right? So it's bullshit. That's why I think Berserk or any book or manga or comics with a real story, with real characters that you can actually connect with, that you can actually like try to follow, that you can actually like take inspiration from, is way better and will be always better. For example, Guts from Berserk. He has the same like character as me. It's called ACTP, but I also like he's very like he has a very fucking strong mentality. He's very disciplined, right? Like that's why I actually love reading this before sleep. Uh, it's like my favorite manga, favorite story of all time. I connected with gods and the whole like world of Berserk like very deeply because this story is very deep, and this way I can actually remember like the good sides of the like what is the story is trying to teach you. Of course, this is dark fantasy. This is very brutal. This is very dark, but still like it's amazing, and I think it provides way more value than any self-improvement book. Of course, they may be like few self-improvement books that are worth reading, but most of them are fucking waste of time, and you're not gonna remember anything from those. But if you're reading manga a story that you actually like, and that will actually can help you and has like characters with strong, very valuable traits, right? This way you can actually extract way more value from those books. And like for example, I'm not hating on something like this. Maybe it's Meditations from Marcus Aurelius. They're not as bad as like self-improvement book because this is not self-improvement book. This is more of a just he wrote this for like it's just his like notes, right? It's just his journal, his own journal. He wrote about like his thoughts, right? His philosophy. But still, like, if you're reading this, if you're not studying this, if you're not taking notes from this, you're not gonna remember shit from this. Really, from my own experience, if you're just gonna read this and even try to remember this, really like focus while reading, you'll still remember almost anything because there's so much information, like different information, different way of thinking, right? So I just think if you're gonna, of course, I'm not saying that you should spend thousands of dollars on books, on mangas, right? Because yeah, you need to have your priorities. For example, I stopped buying Berserk, but of course I will in the future. But now I just want to like gather money for mentorship for my business because I want to scale my business. I want to grow my business, and like it's way more important to me. But yeah, if you haven't read Berserk, I highly recommend you to do it. You can read it online, it's for free, but I personally fucking love reading this before sleep. I can literally like just read it for 2 hours, and yeah, it's like I love this. It's not like very dopamine hitting, but it's still entertaining enough. Like there's no sound, there's no images, there's no like music, but still it's it's just fun to read, and you can read, like, you can learn a lot of things from them. But of course, if you're a loser, you're still vaping, drinking alcohol, not doing anything with your life, and you're just reading this shit for fun, then of course you're not gonna get almost any value from this. You're just like going to entertain yourself. That's why you also need to have this correct mindset while reading, right? What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Like, you can learn, like, I mean, you can read this for entertainment also, because when you are reading for, like, for value, to learn something and also to entertain yourself, this way you can actually, like, remember a lot of stuff from this, right? Because you're actually connecting with the characters, you're connecting with the world. It stays in your mind very well. That's why, yeah, I think you should always choose the books with a real story. I don't, for example, Franz Kafka, I have read them, but like, I'm sure, like, his story, his books like applies to this also. So yeah, I hoped I gave you some value. I hoped I helped, and I wish you an amazing day. Thank you for watching this.